In 2 days, France walks into Gillette Stadium in Boston to face Morocco in the World Cup quarterfinal. And when the cameras pan across the French lineup, Mbappé, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Upamecano, Konate, Kone, the world will see what it always sees: a European nation whose team is majority black. The French far right complains about it every tournament. They say the team is too black to represent France. Commentators tiptoe around it. Fans notice it and say nothing. But almost nobody asks the only question that actually matters. Why? Why does France, a European country, field one of the blackest teams in world football? The answer is not talent falling from the sky. The answer is not luck. The answer is 100 years of colonial theft. France looted a continent, imported its children to do the work France didn't want to do, packed them into concrete suburbs, and then discovered that those suburbs produced the greatest footballers on earth. And here's the part that should make your blood boil. When those players win, France wraps them in the flag. When they lose, France reminds them they were never really French at all. One of France's own stars said it best, and I'm going to show you his exact words. But first, understand this: the team facing Morocco on Thursday is not just a football squad. It is a walking, breathing map of everything France took and everyone France used. Before we go deeper, hit the like button right now and drop a comment with the country you're watching from.
They erased Greenwood from the textbooks. They banned the books that told the truth. Your grandparents lived through history nobody ever wrote down for them. And now they've demonetized this channel for telling you exactly what you're watching right now. Different tools, same silencing. So we put it in a book. 150 crimes against Black America they never answered for. 150 of them. Every massacre, every stolen acre, every buried name, documented and sourced across 176 pages no algorithm can delete, demonetize, or ban. Buying that book is what keeps this channel alive now. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. If this channel ever taught you something they didn't want you to know, get the book. Keep the record in your hands. Thank you for standing with us. Now, back to the story.
Videos like this get buried fast, and your engagement is what pushes this history in front of the people who need to see it before Thursday's match. Let's start with the numbers, because the numbers are not subtle. When France won the World Cup in 2018, 15 of its 23 players had African roots. Mbappé, with a Cameroonian father and an Algerian mother. Pogba with Guinean parents. Kanté with Malian parents. Umtiti born in Cameroon. Today's squad tells the same story with new names. And France's top league, Ligue 1, fields more African players than any league in Europe, over 100 at last count. And that is before you add the French citizens of African descent. This is not a coincidence of geography. Spain does not look like this. Italy does not look like this. Germany does not look like this to nearly the same degree. France looks like this for one reason. France, at its height, ruled roughly 40% of the African continent. Senegal, Mali, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, and more. An empire of extraction stretching from the Mediterranean to the Congo. And when the empire formally ended, the extraction did not. It just changed form. After World War II, France was broken and needed bodies to rebuild, so it reached into its colonies and pulled. Hundreds of thousands of workers from West and North Africa were brought in to pour the concrete, sweep the streets, and man the factories. France took their labor and gave them the banlieues, the grim housing projects ringing Paris and Marseille, built to keep the empire's children close enough to work and far enough to ignore. Bondy, the suburb that raised Kylian Mbappé, is one of them. And here's the twist France never planned. Those neglected suburbs, with their concrete pitches and their hungry kids, became the most productive football talent factory on the planet. France didn't develop these players out of love. It warehoused their families out of need, and the genius grew in the cracks of the concrete. So when you watch France play, understand what you're actually watching. You are watching the return on a colonial investment France pretends it never made. And what did France take from the countries those families came from? Not just labor, everything. France drained West Africa of gold, uranium, cocoa, and manpower for a century. It forced its former colonies to pay a so-called colonial tax after independence, payments for the benefits of French rule, including the roads and buildings France had built to extract their own resources. To this day, 14 African nations use the CFA franc, a currency born in colonialism, long controlled from Paris, with reserves that for decades had to sit in the French treasury. Guinea dared to reject France completely in 1958, and France responded by ripping out infrastructure and sabotaging the country on its way out the door. I made a full video on how France condemned Guinea and Haiti to poverty. 250,000 of you watched it, so I won't repeat it all here. The point is this: France's wealth was built on African bodies and African resources, and now France's glory, the thing that makes Frenchmen cry in stadiums and presidents pose for photos, is built on African bodies too. The empire never ended, it just moved onto the pitch. Now here's where the story turns from theft to hypocrisy, because you might think France would at least be grateful. It is not. Karim Benzema, born in Lyon to Algerian parents, one of the greatest strikers France ever produced, summed up his country in one sentence: if I score, I'm French. If I don't, I'm an Arab. Sit with that. A man born on French soil, wearing the French shirt, telling you that his citizenship is conditional on his performance. And he wasn't exaggerating. In 2011, the investigative outlet Mediapart exposed a secret meeting inside the French Football Federation where officials, including then national team coach Laurent Blanc, discussed capping the number of black and Arab players in the youth academies at 30%. A quota on French children in their own country. Blanc was even recorded praising Spain's team culture by pointing out that Spain had, in his words, no black players. The Federation investigated itself and, of course, cleared itself. Nobody was seriously punished. The message to every black kid in the academy system was unmistakable. You are a resource, not a countryman. And the fans finished what the Federation started. In the 2022 World Cup final, France's black players carried the team to the brink. And when Kingsley Coman and Aurélien Tchouaméni missed their penalties against Argentina, they were buried under an avalanche of racist abuse from their own countrymen within hours. Monkey emojis, slurs. Go back to Africa messages. The same thing happened after Euro 2016, and the same thing happens after every French failure. But rewind 6 months earlier or 4 years earlier to 2018, when Mbappé was tearing through defenses and France was winning it all. Suddenly the team was the beautiful face of the Republic, celebrated on the Champs-Élysées, praised by the president. In 2018, when Trevor Noah joked that Africa had won the World Cup, the French ambassador wrote him a furious formal letter insisting the players were French, not African. Think about what that means. The French state fights to claim these men when there's a trophy involved. The French public revokes their citizenship the moment a penalty sails over the bar. When they win, they're French. When they lose, they're African. That's not my line. That's the lived reality their own players keep describing. If this is opening your eyes, subscribe to Black Journals right now, because the story I'm about to tell you next is the part France works hardest to keep quiet. Now let me deal with the objections some of you are already typing, because it's a fair one. Someone will say these players are French. Mbappé was born in Paris. Tchouaméni was born in Rouen. Calling them African denies their identity. And isn't that exactly what the racists do? Yes. And that is precisely the point of this video. I am not the one questioning their Frenchness. France is. I'm not putting an asterisk on their citizenship. The federation that discussed quotas did. The fans sending monkey emojis did. The politicians who complained the team doesn't look French enough did. These men are French, born French, raised French, French in every legal and cultural sense. The scandal is that the country they carry keeps treating their Frenchness as a loan that gets recalled every time they miss. And the deeper scandal sits underneath it. The same France that claims Mbappe's goals refuses to seriously discuss reparations for what it took from the countries his parents came from. The same France that celebrates its rainbow team maintained the CFA system, fought to keep its grip on West African economies, and has never fully accounted for the blood it spilled from Algeria to Cameroon. France wants to harvest without acknowledging the field. Which brings us back to Thursday. France versus Morocco is not a normal quarterfinal. Morocco was a French protectorate, a colony in everything but name, until 1956. These two already met in the 2022 semifinal, when Morocco became the first African nation to ever reach that stage, and the whole colonized world stood behind them. Now they meet again, one round earlier, and look at the two rosters. Morocco's squad is full of sons of the diaspora, players born in Europe who chose to play for the homeland of their parents. France's squad is full of sons of Africa, players whose families the empire imported and whose talent the republic now claims. Two teams built by the same colonial history, standing on opposite sides of it. One is Africa calling its children home. The other is Europe cashing the check the empire wrote. Whatever the score on Thursday, understand that history is on that pitch, and for 90 minutes the whole world will be watching 100 years of colonial theft chase a ball. So the next time someone asks why France's team is so black, give them the real answer. Not talent, not luck. Empire. France colonized nearly half of Africa, drained its wealth, imported its people, ghettoized their children, and then built a football dynasty out of the neighborhoods it neglected. And it still cannot bring itself to love those players on a bad day. Argentina, as I showed you in my last video, erased its black population and fields a team with none. France did the opposite. It manufactured a black population for labor and fields a team full of them. Two colonial crimes, two different weapons, and the same refusal in both countries to tell the truth about how their teams came to look the way they do. That's why this channel exists, because somebody has to say it plainly. Share this video before Thursday's match. Send it to everyone who is going to watch France play Morocco without knowing what they are really looking at. Drop a comment and tell me. When they win, they are French. When they lose, they are African. Have you seen this pattern where you live? Subscribe if you want history nobody else will give you, and hit the like so that this reaches the people it needs to reach before kickoff. Thank you for watching. Thank you for thinking deeper than the highlight reels, and I will see you in the next one.
Before you go, everything you just watched exists because viewers like you keep it alive. They demonetized this channel for telling these truths. So we put the truth in a book. 150 crimes against Black America they never answered for. 150 documented crimes, sourced, named, and impossible to erase across 176 pages that no platform can take down. Buying that book is what funds this work now. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Keep the record alive and keep it in your hands. Thank you for watching, and thank you for standing with us.